What's going on, guys? Striker here, and welcome to another part 2 video, I guess you could say, to the Overwatch rant that I made about a year ago. Um, and this one's just going to be kind of like a follow-up to that, kind of like as I said before, part 2, a look at how far Overwatch has come and my opinions on what has happened in the past year. Regarding the gameplay and progression and just essentially what's happened since then to the game. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing and the biggest thing that is a problem with this game is the microtransactions, and I know that it's not hard for some people to just kind of turn around and say, it's not difficult, just don't buy the loot boxes, or don't, give in to the urge to do this. But that's definitely easier said than done, and I only say that because in games like this, they're fun for however long they are fun to you, but then eventually it gets to the point to where it's like, I'm only really playing this for some certain reason. For instance, CSGO, or Counter-Strike Go. That game is fun for like the first 2 to 3 hours you play it, and then the next thing you know, you're sitting there like, well, I've played every game mode, I've played competitive, I don't really know what else to do. And then the only real thing to do is you get into trading in CSGO and buying skins and everything, and that's whenever the game becomes more fun, because you're sitting there, you're tiering up your skins, you're getting better skins, and that's what really makes the game fun, and that's for me at least, but I know that's for a lot of people. A lot of people just find the game really only fun if they have skins, and that may not be the same for Overwatch for a lot of people, but it is for me, because I mean, in the end, I feel like skins are what make the game fun. Emotes are all the things that you're able to customize with your character really make the game fun. And if I don't have those things, or I can't easily attain those things, it makes the game less fun and it makes the game more aggravating. So for example, Overwatch Anniversary is out right now. The second year of Overwatch Anniversary is out, and with this one, they've done something different. And what they've done is they've released every single legendary event skin that has ever come out in Overwatch history, the past 2 years. They've released it so you can get it now, just from normal loot boxes. You can buy them with the coins and everything. And they've also released a guaranteed legendary loot box that you can only get once, for free at least. You can only get it once by starting up the game and, getting it and unboxing it and getting your free legendary. You can also get it by spending 40 to 50 bucks on the game and getting, I think it's 100 free loot boxes, or 50, or not free, 100 loot boxes, and then 1 guaranteed legendary loot box, somewhere around there. And that's the way that you can get the guaranteed legendary loot box, and other than logging in and getting it for your first time. So my problem comes into play whenever I look at the fact that not only have they done this solely to boost their the amount of money that they get from their loot boxes, because it's clear that that's the only reason they do this. Because if it weren't, then we would have gotten something like this much farther down, or much earlier in the Overwatch timeline. And you could argue that the only reason we haven't, or the reason that we haven't, is because all the other ones are themed to a certain thing. Well, that's true and all, but at the same time, it just seems to me like it doesn't make any sense to do it now either. Because if it's the anniversary, shouldn't you want to wait for a milestone other than the anniversary? Shouldn't you want to wait to do it? Or furthermore, shouldn't you have 2 different types of loot boxes to kind of do it so maybe you can get normal loot boxes for the normal anniversary skins, or you can convert those into the older anniversary skins in the loot boxes. It just seems to me that this is nothing but a money grab, and it's even more of a scummy thing to do than making normal loot boxes in the first place, where the only way you can get the skins you want is by buying them from the currency that you get from the loot boxes, or unboxing them from said loot boxes. It just seems like a stupid thing to do, and a giant fuck you to your community and your fan base, who are all very devoted to the game that you've made and, you know, been keeping up with in the past year or so, 2 years. So that's my main problem. Like, my biggest problem with this game is the microtransactions, the giant, you know, screw you to everyone. Because in the end, there's no guarantee that you're going to get the skin that you want for the person that you play the most. You know, I play Genji a lot. He's like my favorite. He is my favorite character in the game, and I have gotten every single event skin except for his Lunar New Year one, his blue Lunar New Year one, the new one. And the thing was, is I played during that entire event. Pretty much, yeah, that entire event. Did my weeklies every single week, all 4 weeks, and played the ever-living shit out of that event, and did not come close to getting the Genji skin once. My currency stayed pretty much exactly where it was from before the event started, and I only got probably 2 legendaries that entire time, both of which being the Mei skin. And it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand the mentality behind that, other than let's maximize our profits by getting, you know, people to buy our loot boxes. It's like they don't even try to hide it. You know, it would be less of a problem if we had some way of earning currency, even if it was just in small amounts, or even if we could buy the currency. I mean, I feel like buying the currency would make them more money than loot boxes. It seems like that's the way it would work in my mind. Because if you can buy the currency, then you can buy what you want instantly. But the problem is once someone gets everything that they want for a character, they're going to think about it and they're going to be like, oh damn, I want this for this character instead. Or vice versa for another character or something. Or every single event, considering how they bump up the prices of every single new skin to 3,000 instead of 1,000, 750 instead of 250, it seems like they could still make way more money. Now, granted, that's not counting, you know, the people who spend, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the game opening loot boxes. So, you know, actually, they do probably make more money than they would if they were to just sell the currency, but at the same time, I guarantee you the amount of money that they would be losing would be nowhere near justifiable for them to just completely not do that or scrap the idea. So that's my problem when it comes to the whole, you know, microtransaction area and the non-gameplay section of it. So now let's actually move on to the actual gameplay, the reason that I really just no longer enjoy playing this game. So not only is 90% of the hero base just broken, but they seem to not care anymore. It seems like their buffs and nerfs for the heroes are just kind of like pointless. None of them really help at all. Hanzo's doesn't really do anything. They got rid of his scatter arrow, and you know, at first I was like, oh great, cool, scatter arrow is gonna be gone. You know, it's no longer going to be easy for them to, you know, just one-shot me. And that's true. They can't one-shot me anymore. They two-shot me. They easily body-shot me, and then they just pop their E and instantly shoot me to death and kill me. So that's kind of pointless. Now, I can't think of a whole bunch of others right off the top of my head. Mei can freeze multiple people now. That's another one. But I can't really think of a whole bunch off the top of my head. But I'm starting to see more and more now that I've played this, like, more and more, because I kind of did take a break for the past, you know, month or so, that a lot of the characters are still just as broken as they were whenever I first got the game pretty much over a year ago. And if anything, some characters are even worse. Mei and Symmetra are completely just fucking broken. Symmetra has her own place. I feel like if she were nerfed a bit, damage-wise, she would not only be useful, but she wouldn't be as annoying. Mei, I don't understand what the hell the point of her is. I understand she's a defense character and she's meant to slow people down, and that's completely fine. But I feel like if she's going to have the freeze ability that she does, it needs to either take way longer, or it needs to have some sort of effect to where she can't kill you as easily. Maybe just freezing you slows you down a lot, so it's easier for her to hit you, but it doesn't completely freeze you in place. Because in the end, sure, it's nice to have if you're a Mei main, but it just fucks everyone else over, because you cannot successfully 1v1 a Mei while being close to her. If you are playing Reaper, for instance, and maybe you don't have your Shadow Step, you can't win unless all your shots are precisely hit and everything. You can't win. Or maybe Sombra, if because you gotta get close to her to use her Uzi or her gun or whatever. Her guns are close range, and the only way you can get Mei without a translocator is shooting her. But the problem is since you're a close range and Mei's a close range, Mei's going to win every time because she can freeze you in place and headshot you. So I don't understand the idea there. I don't know what was going through the developer of whoever made Mei or came up with the idea of that. I just think it's completely stupid. And that's not meant to insult anybody who is a Mei main and can do more than that. If you can hit precision shots with her icicle, I mean, hey, good on you, because I know I sure as hell can't if I'm doing that. But I can definitely get kills by freezing people and headshotting them. Another character that's broken is Brigitte. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't really give a fuck. She's the newest hero. She's the one. She has a deployable shield that she can, pop up whenever. She can stun people with a shield bash. She can do, I don't know how much damage it is. She can do a fairly large amount of damage with a 20-meter range with her shift. She does moderate damage with her left click, or melee, if that's what you want to call it. My main problem with her is that she's virtually unfucking killable. If she pops her ult, I haven't seen a single person that can kill her other than maybe Hanzo if she's standing, directly in his, I don't know what it's called, dragon something, whatever. If she's standing right in the middle of those, consistently taking damage, then she'll die. I know that if she's fighting a Reaper and he ults, she can easily just pop up her shield and be completely fine. Genji, nothing, because he does, I believe it's 150 hits, or 150 damage per hit, maybe 100. And the problem is the cooldown on his sword is probably like half a second, if even, but she's able to regen so much health so quickly that half a second really matters, and she can just basically get her health back without even trying. And I'm trying to think of some other people's ults. I know D.Va could easily take her out, mainly because hers is so quick. Mei, of course she could freeze her. Doomfist, I don't think Doomfist could take her out with his ults. I'm pretty sure, because he only does, I'm pretty sure, 300 damage in the middle of his circle. I'm trying to think of some other people, but in the end, I'm pretty sure that she can survive most ults completely fine, get away unscathed, within reason. Ults that stun, like Rhines or Mei's, I wouldn't necessarily count, only because, then she's vulnerable, and then it doesn't necessarily matter because you can do as much damage output as needed. So she's pretty broken. Mei, Symmetra, there was one more, I'm trying to remember who. Torbjorn. So I had to go and look it up, but Torbjorn, he's pretty broken. I mean, he's not terrible. He's not like a Symmetra or Mei situation where he needs to be nerfed because he's like game breaking. And I think his character's executed relatively well. Like, he does exactly what he was meant to do. His turret doesn't do too much damage. I just find him more annoying. Like, I don't think in all honesty, I don't really think he needs to be nerfed or anything. I just think there's some things that should be kind of like, I mean, I guess you could say nerfed. I feel like he's in a good place. He's just an annoying character, or like an annoying pick. And the problem is with him mainly is that in some areas, it's very difficult to get to a capture point or to move a payload, because his turret is so powerful, and because if it's placed correctly, it's very hard to end up destroying it or getting it out of the way so that your team can push up. So yeah, those are the 4 characters that I think are broken. I wanted to also kind of dip into player base. I don't know what the hell people are doing or why, and this isn't necessarily Overwatch's fault or Blizzard's fault. It's just more of like a what the hell is going on type thing. So I was playing comp earlier today, and as I was sitting there, I was doing my placements, and I got placed with a whole bunch of bronzes. Not placed, but put into a game with a bunch of bronzes and silvers. And I was sitting there playing, and out of nowhere, some 4-star, some clearly higher level than everybody in the lobby, just starts talking so much shit to this little kid who probably could not have been more than 12 or 13. And this has been a free weekend this past weekend, so he was probably just a free-to-play trying to see if he liked the game or not, or just wanting to play it. And he just starts talking so much shit to this little kid, telling him to kill himself and do a whole bunch of terrible stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, why? Why are you doing this? And I asked him that. I was like, why are you being such a douche? And the guy only had one answer, and it's because we're losing. And his answer was because we were losing, and because he thought the kid wasn't doing anything. The kid joined competitive because he wanted to see what it was like. Maybe, I mean, in the kid's defense, he was relatively new, and he did not necessarily know what he was doing, and that was quite clear. But he was definitely making the effort to try and communicate with the team, whereas this guy, who was much, much higher level than him and clearly knew a lot more about the game, was just being a complete and total douchebag for what was next to no reason, because it was clear that he had no problem losing the game, because later on in the game he decided to begin throwing, but he only just wanted to put this kid down and stop this kid from playing the game and just be a complete and total dickhead. And as I said before, this doesn't fall on Blizzard's or Overwatch's or the Overwatch developers' shoulders. It's not their fault that people are such assholes. It's just more of like a PSA, kind of like a what in the fuck happened to people communicating and being cool. I've done 5 placements now, and 4 out of the 5 have been in games where people are either not communicating or just being complete and total assholes for no reason other than they don't want to lose, but they don't want to put forth the effort to win. They want to be carried to the win. So I don't really understand that. From what I can tell, that's pretty much it. I think competitive's kind of fucking stupid. Like the way it's working at this point, like the ranking and everything. I just kind of think it's stupid. I don't really understand the point of competitive, because in the end, all it is more serious quick play. And I know people like competitive a lot, and I think competitive's kind of cool. But in the end, I just think it's a giant waste of time, because you get either the people who are really cool and like to communicate, or you get the assholes who tell you to kill yourself and begin to throw and play Widow in competitive. So I don't really understand that. Maybe they could fix it. They probably won't. Who knows. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, tell me what you thought about it. If you have any feedback or ideas about anything I said in this video, make sure to comment down in the description, and I will, or comment down in the comment section. I read all my comments. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all later.
This is a Chucky Beat production.